everyone, it's MissSoulless, and today we are doing the Devil's Gospel. I believe we are into chapter 3. Yes, chapter 3, Sanctuary. The body was taken from the church. Since the doors were locked, the woman who had died was considered guilty of breaking and entering. After a morning full of interviews from police and investigators, I was excused to rest. I wasn't sure how much more I could handle the weight of deaths around me. Yet, with each passing death, I felt that much closer to freedom. My heart felt abnormally ecstatic, and my body felt lighter, like chains were being dropped from my limbs and were allowing me to inch closer to God's light. Was this an illusion? Some fake form of hope to spur me into doing what I knew was humanity's ultimate sin? I had to fight this. I had to find a way to control the unbridled euphoria from the cursed deal. But I would be free. But I would carry the weight of 7 lives on my shoulders. Sleeping became impossible. The self-imagined drowning of hell and the devil's torturous acts on my body frightened me enough to keep my eyes wide open throughout the day and the following night. It was now Friday, and I was beyond tired. My body ached in exhaustion, and my eyes would not stop fluttering in their need to remain shut. How was I going to be able to do this?
You know, whether or not you sleep isn't my problem.
I was too exhausted to deal with this annoyance of my life, but I let a weakened sigh escape my lips at her statement.
I'm just saying.
A singular moment of peace was all I wanted. A breath of time without her smirking in my mind's eye. Please, please. I stopped for a moment and looked around. No witty retort? No sarcastic reply to my request? Just total silence?
Where did she go?
I stood from my bed, looking around my room in search of the damned devil. Despite the little time I had in knowing her, this was unusual for her. Was I actually allowed to have a chance to breathe? I couldn't help but fall to my knees beside my bed and clasp my hands together, pressing my thumbs to my lips.
Oh Lord, forgive me, for I have sinned.
Oh Lord, have mercy on me.
I have committed unspeakable sin, and I must ask for your forgiveness for my wrongdoing.
I have allowed this evil to walk through and envelop my life. I must not let it control me any longer.
In the name of...
A shout breaking through my prayer.
Huh? Who is... Somebody! Please! Let me in!
Frantic pounding on the front door, a boy crying for help. I rush out of my room and practically sprint down the stairs, only to see the she-devil leaning against the locked doors, filing her nails in boredom.
Oh, hey, you done praying to the spaghetti monster? Huh? Why? You locked up for the night.
There's a boy who needs help.
The kid that's beating down your door? He'll be fine.
Okay. Move or... Let's go through.
Dude, there's literally no point in opening this door.
You do not get to decide that.
What are you gonna do? Push me?
The boy continued to beat down the door. I could hear him crying and pleading for some form of sanctuary. Something was wrong. His fist echoed loudly into the chapel, slamming through the wood of the doors in earnest. Yeah. A jolt of courage ran through my body as I practically sprinted forward and shoved the devil woman off the doors.
Oh shit! Ow!
Finally, some control. I quickly maneuvered my hands over the locks to open the doors. Did I just die? No! I could only stand paralyzed at the sound that reached me through the doors. I didn't even have to open the doors to know what had happened. The knocks, the cries for help had stopped. In a burst of anger, I slammed my head against one of the doors and slid down to my knees. I let my forehead kiss the wooden frame of internal defeat. This was worse than any nightmare I could have ever imagined. How could I, a minister and follower of God, allow this?
Man, those are some sturdy doors for a running church.
At the sound of her voice, I felt another scratch on my chest melt away into nothing. 2 more. Was this also my doing? Was I destined to somehow to surround myself with death and destruction? Was this some sort of sign from God?
Hey, you.
What was I supposed to feel?
Hello? You.
Will I become numb to this?
Hey!
A strong kick to my side forces me down to the floor with a thump. I look up and glare, unable to stop myself from snarling in undignified rage.
You done?
Keep your filthy being off of me.
You know what? I'm not even gonna bring up the fact that you fucked me already. Oops, already did. Get over yourself. It'll be over soon.
This is beyond any form of torture you can strike at me.
You really want to bet?
I can't take it. I stand and march towards her, unafraid of her power over me.
Either I become a willing witness to murder, or you take my soul. Both roads will leave me scarred before God.
Now, when you say witness, you mean watching or actually participating? Because taking part is what you've been doing.
I can't control my fist, slamming into the wall beside her head.
Ooh, feisty.
Yet I cling to some form of control, able to bite my tongue instead of showering her in filth from my words. I am better than that. I will never stoop to her level. Not again. A moment of silence, staring at each other in battle of dominance. This church is my domain, and she has trespassed in it.
You know what, you little bitch? I am so sick of your whining and crying.
A pang of fear? Is she?
I'll do you a solid. I'll take care of the boy on your stoop, so you don't have to deal with the police and shit, and I'll leave you alone for the next couple of days.
Wait.
Why the change of heart? If you have such a thing.
Because, despite me just sitting back and letting you do your preacher shit and killing people, you constantly point the finger at me, like I was the one who fucked a prostitute. So I'm just gonna clear out and let you figure out that you are the one who's doing all of this shit. I happily take credit for things I actually do, but a human is not gonna pin human shit on me.
Fair enough. A snap of her fingers, and her body disappears into black smoke. These wisps of black dance in the air before fading into transparent nothingness. Yet still I hear her voice in my head.
2 days, preacher boy. 2 souls, or your pathetic ass is mine.
I grit my teeth before holding my head and folding onto my knees. I cannot escape 2 more lives. I cannot blame the one who started it. That devil has brought so much pain and suffering into my life. How will I end this journey? Oh Lord, please guide my feet. I ask for your strength as I fall one way or another. Will I damn 2 other souls, or will my soul be engulfed in hell's inferno? For once that night I slept, and I was welcomed to a dreamless slumber until the morning. Saturday, the day before the Sabbath day, and the day before my last. How would I spend it? I don't feel the claws of that monstrosity holding me down like they did the previous nights. Is it because I only have 2 marks left? Or is it because the devil girl is not here? For a moment, I can breathe. Dressing at last and carrying the strength of the day, I walk down the steps of my church to the sanctuary of the chapel. The front door is unlocked. I tense up instinctively. Did the devil lie to me? Is she here? I look forward towards the pulpit, past the pews, sensing a presence in the chapel. Chapel. Could it be?
Good morning, Pastor Harlow.
A breath of relief.
Morning, Helen.
How are you feeling?
She walks over and places the back of her hand on my forehead. A sincere gesture. Sweet. I can only smile softly at her.
I am much better than I have been for a while.
At last, a truth. My soul isn't plagued by a dimmed vial of sin and punishment for once this week. There is peace. A smile in return.
I'm glad.
She removes her hand from my face and returns to dusting off the pews. I watch for a moment. Will she miss me? Will she notice or care when I am gone? Would I be able to face her again if I allowed 2 more souls to be taken instead? The closer I am to my demise, the stronger the thoughts in my head ring out in base curiosity. Still, the day will not wait, and thus the day begins. 7 a.m., a boy comes in and prays for his mother's swift recovery. 8:30, a drunken homeless man wobbles in and sleeps in a pew. 10 a.m., a woman walks in and sits in a pew, obviously waiting for me.
May I help you?
I'm sorry for what I said before. I was the one who...
It's all right. What can I do you for?
I really need that prayer. I've become obsessed with... Oh, I can't say it again.
God will not turn you away here. Tell me.
I'm obsessed with dinosaur erotica, and I need to be cleansed.
Another strange moment in my church, but one I work out in the name of God. As the clock rings for the afternoon to begin, I let out yet another sigh. Even as my days become numbered, the pace of the flock still remains constant. Helen moves from the back towards the front doors, waving at me.
I'm off. See you tomorrow, Pastor.
Hey, pretty lady.
The drunken man slowly rises from the pew, awakening from his passed-out state, and grins at Helen.
Hello, sir?
My. God gave you a gift, didn't he?
He starts to stumble forward, gripping the pews for balance. I instantly make my way to the 2 of them, wanting to protect Helen.
Sir, I have to ask you. You're wasting your time with the preacher, man. Let me show you the proper way to use your hands.
No, thank you.
Another step, another stumble before I find myself between the drunk and Helen.
You need to leave. You need to not get in my way, holy man.
My skin freezes up at the sight of him drawing a knife from his jacket.
Nobody's gonna care for a dead preacher.
Defend. How do I... Gripping his shoulder, I force him back to try and release his hold, but he swings our linked arms between us and aims his knife once again. In an act of desperation, I...
Oh my god!
You.
He stabbed himself, or did I stab him? He fell back and cracked his head open on the pew on the way down. There was no life in his body, no breath in his chest.
Harlow? Are you okay?
I don't know what to do. do I call the police or that? I'm actually kind of stumped right now. I don't know what just happened. I'm confuzzled. We could just. I guess call the police. I can always come back, I guess. My hand gently reaches for Helen. To my surprise, she takes it in both of her hands, trying to comfort my shaking form.
Helen, please call the authorities.
Without a word in reply, Helen takes out her cell phone and calls 911. The police and an ambulance arrive, taking the body from the drunken man away. Helen relays what happened to the authority while I sit in the pew with a blanket around my shoulders. I stare at the floor, reliving that moment over and over, trying to figure out what I had done wrong. I was protecting myself. I was protecting Helen. Yet a man died, and another scratch is removed from my chest. One remains, and some twisted, dark part of me screams in excitement. I don't recognize this person, yet I acknowledge their euphoria for the situation I am in. I have one more day left. What will happen? I look around, assuring myself that the devil witch is not there. I don't smell her stench. I can't feel her smirk from the shadows. This is all on me. Okay, so I think I did that right. I don't know. But this one, this one was definitely different. I hope you guys liked that one. We're going to go into chapter 4 next time. If that startled the hell out of you and made you just as confuzzled as I am, give it a like and comment. Have a great day and beautiful life. Bye, guys.